plug in his laptop and his miracle machines that he does, but it is always slightly alarming that he squirrels away under the desk. Hello, Johnny.
He's off now.
I know you can't reply right now, but
he's off. He'll get you back tomorrow. No improvements in times, but a few more cars, even at the top of the field, have gone out. Max Verstappen did take the Windward Mercedes out, so they have unleashed him onto the Nordschleife as well. That's his AMG engine that you can hear. And he's just going up towards Flugplatz at the moment. Flugplatz named not because the cars get off the ground, that's a misnomer. It is named because at the top of the hill on driver's left, there used to be an airport, a Flugplatz. And back in the day, the early days of this place, in the late 1920s and through into the 30s, people would fly up here.
And there's a code 60 at that point for the 651 car, which is the Adrenaline Motorsport Team Manhattan Wheels BMW M240i, which is currently stationary, according to...
Oh, it's in the wall. On driver's right.
GPS Auger is telling me that it's kind of in the middle of the track, so that's probably fairly accurate. They'd like it to hit the wall and bounce back a bit. So
now there's one of the BMW class cars, and now Max Verstappen has been unleashed. The conditions are clearing up considerably to what they were a few minutes ago, when Matt Campbell could barely get into third gear around the top of the foxhole, which is where the number 3 AMG is now. Down through the foxhole, nothing ahead, but still a little bit of mist in the air being lit up, and the flare back, the reflection of the tremendously efficient headlights, nowhere near full throttle there. Sensibly can't use the curbs now around this part of the circuit that Max is at now, through Adenauer Forest, so all the way down to first gear. It's quite a slow corner, the left-hander there, before the right that opens out, and normally you might be up on the block paving there, climbing up to the double left at Metzgerfeld, and it is still tippy toes out there. But this is good practice. This might be the first nighttime lap, actually, that the 4-time world champion has had around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Come down through Kallenhard now, the downhill right-hander, almost a hairpin. In the dry, it would be a short shift through the left-right chicane. Traffic ahead now.
He did use 2 gears there when he needed 1.
Yeah.
As in, that V8, what's it known for? Lots of torque, lots of low-end grunt and torque. So adapting to it, using it straight away. So he pumped up 2 gears very quickly there. But
now, down the hill,
as you say, John, the first representative lap. Just happens it's set by Verstappen, but when he completes the lap. But it could be our first representative lap from the SP9 category in the full rain at night.
Yeah.
So it'll be a good marker for us.
I mean, you couldn't have done this 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, because there just wasn't the grip out there. So this is a good time to send Max out to get some real feel for the circuits. See what you can see. Wheel spin as he comes up out of the bridge up towards the left-hander. That is often called the louder left or louder links. And then up to a very important right-hander, actually, because you take it as a late turn in, and Max is sort of half on, half off the full racing line there, feeling for grip. But it's all uphill here to the bottom. In fact, really, actually, to the Caraccioli carousel. 3 left-handers here. They get progressively tighter. In the dry, they're all flat. The last one is the important one to get right, because that one tightens and you have absolutely no runoff on the right-hand side.
Well, the Dottinger-Ho is probably the fastest part of the circuit, but you have the advantage of being super wide down there and lots of visibility. Whereas here at Kesselchen and Klosttertal, it's equally
up to
mighty fast. Yeah. But there is absolutely no runoff. At some points on the right-hand side, we can just see there's less than a car's width.
Correct. Can't hit the curb on the left through the Moot curve. Up over the brow, stay away from the curb.
On the right, more
I was about to say, stay away from that curb on the right as well, because it's more like a brick wall. And now position the car.
It's a magnet. It's a magnet to the barrier.
Yeah. And over the top of a tricky little rise, actually, with the left and then
so
the right.
Steady through there, John.
Has to be. Has to be.
Look at that. He's barely on the throttle.
Now coming up the hill towards the Caracciolo carousel. Let's see if he drops into the concrete or stays on the top.
Here the brakes good and they're still cold.
Yeah.
They're still cold, those
That's
brakes.
a very good point. No brake temperature, very little tyre temperature. Now, uphill from here. Just a dab of throttle and then off again, because he's got no heat in the front tyres here. None at all. So I think this is his first lap in reality in the dark. He's done tens, hundreds, thousands perhaps laps in virtual reality, but what he's feeling here is the rise and the fall.
Over the brow, very carefully.
That's normally off the ground.
It's the highest part of the circuit.
That's normally all four off there, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
before the right-hander.
It's throttle off.
Yeah.
This time through there.
Now you slightly drop down. You can use the curb on the right, which Max does even in those conditions. So you come into Wipperman, stay hard to the right here, because you've got to balance the car, and it's really hard. If you get offline here and miss the apex on the left-hander coming down into Brunchen, then you're just going to understeer off to the right-hand side, because the camber of the road doesn't hold you through. Brunchen, sometimes called YouTube corner. So many people gather there, and there's massive campers there. You can run up onto the block paving on the left-hand side if you need to.
Well, it drops over a brow and an adverse camber, so the people go in there, as ever, on the tourist laps way too fast and spend a load of money on the small print they didn't read about repairing the barriers.
Yeah.
Didn't mind repairing their car.
Yeah. Now, the run towards Flansgarden and the Beloff S's, this is extremely quick in the dry and so precise. You're threading the eye of a needle here. One of my favourite parts of the circuit, actually, even in a road car. A little bit of a wiggle there and almost onto the grass for the AMG. Now, just over the top of the right-hand rise that Max is at now. Again, you can use the block paving on the left just to straighten this section out. You're falling down the hill quite rapidly and you pick up speed quickly. Then there's a right-hander at the bottom of the hill that sort of tightens. It's over one of the many bridges that there are here. And then a tricky left at the Swallow's Tail and into the mini carousel, Kleiner carousel. Drop right in the bottom of that. And even now, there are challenges, because you climb quite steeply, actually, into Gallows Hill, and it's a triple apex right-hander. You don't have to hit the middle apex, but you want to hit the last one, again, in dry conditions, not right now, because you want to get on the power early. Dodiger Her, over a mile long, nearly 2 kilometres.
Now, this is potentially the most dangerous part of the circuit, because you can't afford to be tippy-toe here. You can't do low revs. You've got to get some pace on, and that's where you're going to pick up your skirts and go. And you're now going to potentially get into aquaplaning, and that you've got to be so careful coming through the King.
Only just went into top gear at the exit for the tourist laps, coming into Antonius Bucher, the little left-hander under the Bilstein Bridge, and that was a lift and a down change there. Now that, in the dry, in a road car, is flat out. You just look through the corner.
Doing 240k down there at the moment.
So he's not hanging about, but that looked pedestrian through there. Really early on the brakes into the Tiergarten. It's so tricky. And again, squeaky brakes as Peter Snowden.
Yeah, down to 120k for Tiergarten.
Yeah, yeah. Onto the start-finish straight. And that car's best lap tonight is a 9:34. That was 1 hour, 8 minutes.